Here we will see how we can perform continuous visual regression testing in a Pantheon hosted environment. So here is the Pantheon dashboard. I have a couple of environments, dev, test. So if we look at the test website, we have a basic Drupal 8 website. I have a couple of pages, home page, a page for Boston, a page for New York. So here we will use Pantheon's Quicksilver hooks for the automation, and for visual testing we will use Drulenium module. So let's say I have this website. Here is the New York page. I see about Patriots on the New York page. So let's say the business asked the developer to change it to Giants block. So let's do this. I don't want to do directly on the test environment, so I will create a multi-dev environment for this new feature request. I call it NYC fix. I clone the environment from test, create it. I'll pause the video as it takes a minute or so for the environment creation. We have the environment, and also a Git branch is automatically created. And in this environment, let me go to the website first. So we have this new dev environment that I created out of the test environment. It has the same, it's similar to the test environment. It has the block, and now the feature request is to change this block. So I'll log in as admin. And let me go to the New York page. I will change this from Patriots to, let's say, Giants. Save it. Now the New York page looks good. It says Giants as per the feature request by the business. Let me check as an anonymous user. Okay, the New York page says Giants. Everything looks good. The home page looks good. Now I want to push this to the stage environment. So I have to convert this database change to code. So I will use, because it's Drupal 8, I'll use Drupal 8's config export thing to convert the database change into code so that I can put in the Git environment. So I'm using Pantheon's terminus, drush config export to my site. It asks me which environment. I'm gonna say I want to export the NYC fix environment. Yes, accept it. I want to choose a destination to the staging environment. So the block, Patriots game this weekend block, has been updated, so that's what it's asking me to. Are you sure you want to replace with the old one with the new item? So it throws some permission denied error, and let's go to the environment. Yeah, because it's in Git, Pantheon is not able to change the files in the system. So let's change it, switch it back to SFTP. And once this switching is done, we can try exporting the config again from database into code. Okay, one more try. Environment is nyc fix, and to staging will be deleted, yes, and configuration successfully exported. So now this has gone into the code, but it's an SFTP, nothing yet has been committed. Let me refresh this page. Not sure why Pantheon didn't recognize it, but usually it should. Okay. Yeah, so here you go. Pantheon is updating its site status. And yeah, the file that we changed, the block from database into code, is now in SFTP. We can commit it to Git. Before that, I want to watch Pantheon's workflow. So I will, for debugging purposes, we could do a workflow watch in the Drulenium hosted environment. So now this will show me what's going on in the backend when the git commit is happening. NYC Patriots, change it to Giants. Commit. So as you can see, this is starting. The site status workflow has finished. And now it's syncing code. That's what I see it here too. Started, commit code changes. And finished workflow, commit code changes. Next, it's syncing code. Then later, the visual testing task has finished running. Operation test visually. Quickly, I will describe what's going on. So this is the Quicksilver hook that I have created. And what I have defined is the test. What should happen after a code is pushed. So I have given the staging site URL, which is this, the staging site URL, and the dev URL's suffix, and the email ID whom the system should notify after the visual testing is performed, and the pages to test. So I have given the home page, the Boston page, and the New York page, pretty much all the important pages on my site. So I have defined the site test here, and I have provided a Git repository. And what will happen is, when a commit is made into the Pantheon's Git repository, this script will run, which will create a test script in this GitHub repository. It will create a Git branch for this particular commit, upload the test JSON file, and it will create a pull request in the GitHub repository for this change. So now that this has run, let's see if it has really created that. So if I go to my GitHub repository, and if I see pull requests, yeah, there is a pull request for the commit that I have made. So it created the JSON depending on the test definition that we have described here. This particular thing, it has created the test script along with the dev environment domain. As you notice, here in the test definition we have provided the suffix because at this point we don't know which Git branch this code is coming in. This will work for any multi-dev environment or any other dev environments in Pantheon. So when the pull request is created, it knows which environment the code has been pushed to, so it creates a dev environment URL, so that in the visual test it could compare the staging environment with the multi-dev development environment. And here are the pages, and this is my email that goes. So now what happens is, because it's in GitHub and it's open source, and remember, Drupal 8 or that whole site is not in the GitHub repository. So if in Pantheon you have some private site that you don't want to put on GitHub, you don't need to. You can just put a Drupal 7 site, a fork of this, and you will just have the test script. And here Travis gets kicked in, and the automated regression testing will be performed depending on this test definition or the test script. So here if we go to Travis continuous integration, we see that it has run, and what it's doing is, I'll show the Travis YAML file. So it's creating a PHP site, MySQL, it's installing MySQL, it's installing Firefox for the visual testing so that it could spin up these test environments and everything in the local Firefox browser on a Travis machine. We have the database configuration, and before installing it would create a database. It installs the Selenium server for the visual testing, and it would install ImageMagick for visual manipulation. And here what it's doing is, it's taking the pull request that got created, it's extracting some variables like what's the stage URL and what's the dev URL, whom to notify, what are the pages, and then it installs the Drupal site install. Then it downloads and enables the Drulenium module and other required modules and some configuration for the visual testing. It sets up the stage URL, like it creates snapshots of all the stage URL pages that were defined, the home page, the Boston page, the New York page. Then later it takes the snapshots of all the development environment pages, and then it does a visual comparison of these two versions, and then it uploads this information to the remote site because we can't see the results within the Travis console. So if everything went well, we would have got an email notification because that's what we defined in the test definition. So we got a email notification to this particular account that the testing is complete. And here is the link to the report. And if I see that there is a diff between the staging site and the development environment, and there should be, because the request was to change the New York page. But I see that there is a difference in the New York page, but also there is a difference on the Boston page, which was not the requirement. The business has asked the developer to just change the New York page. And if I look at the diff and the animated GIF, so I see that even on the Boston page, Patriots has changed to Giants. So that's a bug. Like the business has never asked to change on the Boston page. So otherwise we wouldn't have caught it, because we could, if there were like thousands of pages on this site, we couldn't have visually tested it manually. The New York page was looking good, and the developer was trying to push to stage, hasn't pushed yet. But if the test had went well, then I would have gone into dev, excuse me, and merged my dev code into the development environment and then into the test environment. But because there is a bug, the developer could go back and fix the issue and push it back when everything looks good. Thanks for watching. Please leave your comments on the YouTube video.